That, you see, was meant to be in there. I actually wrote something down on my bag sheet, and that's just to tell the truth. I do like train stations, and that's just a bit of a proof that I actually do. I'm an accountant, I don't tell lies. So what I'll do is just quickly give some tips, just slightly, really probably just conversation starters, but so now we've got the bank holiday out of the way, all the fun and frivolity. It's time to put a pin in the balloon and bring you back down to earth. I'm all serious there. I know it's slightly pixelated, I didn't want to offend people's sensibilities. A bit, you know, this time of morning, especially after a bank holiday, it's quite tough. So just about really what I'm going to tell you about now. We haven't blacked all that out, there's no hidden surprises there. So basically just give you an idea of who we are, what we do, and then just ideas of what you can look out for to help us along really, or help, you know, maybe making an introduction. I think just split down into two different areas, which would be a reactive side and a proactive side. Pierce, well, we were established in 1929 in Accrington, like I said, in the 60 seconds. We've grown organically, which means that we've just grown by referrals from clients and from contacts, and not by acquiring other practices. We currently have 70 staff, and we've got clients across the northwest of England. I think it says their turnover ranges from 100k to 100 million. Obviously we do smaller companies that have smaller turnovers than that, but it's just a broad balance to get everything in. And we try and provide all the services under one roof. So what do we do? Well, the compliance side, the business service department is where I work. I'm associate director there, so I look after a portfolio of clients. The bits that we actually do, so that bit there says compliance, which covers the audit, accounts, preparation for companies, getting everything filed on time, and then corporate and personal taxation. So everybody's tax returns done by the company or by the individual. We try and do those on a timely basis. Other added value services, that would include strategic planning, that's hidden, dark arts and all that, management information services, things like that help us to get involved in a business. What it means is we become more involved in the bookkeeping, we also get involved in management accounts, sit down on a monthly and quarterly basis, obviously depending on the type of business, the size of business, it doesn't always suit everybody, but we try and tailor the service that we provide to the individual business concern. And by doing that, it then helps us to get more involved in the business. Every business owner knows exactly what they want to do, where they want to be. Quite often they don't formulate the plan on a piece of paper, but by becoming involved with them, you find that we know more about the business, they know more about themselves, and it's all about trying to work towards a goal that they may or may not have. So that leads on then to tax and commercial structural planning. That becomes more involved, more detailed planning, which I'll touch on slightly later. We've got our tax director usually gets involved in some of them, depending on the degree of how complicated something will be. And then pre-year end planning, which is, you know, that I mentioned, about 60 seconds before the year end, maybe 6 weeks, 2 months before the year end. We like to get the management account, see where they're at, and plan forward, see what steps they can take, not only to mitigate the tax liability, which is usually the bit that they find most attractive, but also in terms of planning the corporate, what they're going to do, and just again helping them get this next step on the ladder to where they actually want to be in 3, 5, 10 years time, whatever that may be. Other services we're provided, called those added value services. They're sort of the non-routine kinds of work that we do. We do fundraising, be it through via seeking lending for companies through the banks or through other second tier lenders, acquisition and sales, that's done by our corporate finance team, who won, I think, the Northwest Insider Awards, Deal Maker Awards for probably the last 2 or 3 years. Succession planning, again, that is becoming increasingly critical as businesses get older. People are looking for an exit out of the business. People work through the business, that's their pension, but it's only so good if you can actually get out and unlock the capital that you've got in there. So we tend to, with corporate finance, with the tax departments, we tend to look at that and try and find a way out for a business owner. Due diligence, family disputes resolution, that all comes under forensic accounting, which generally does quite a lot of work of. It does quite a lot of that through solicitors. And I've recently just been working with one of Stephen's colleagues. What he does in that is usually like company valuations for family disputes. If there's a married couple, you know, they're getting divorced, going through divorce proceedings, or if 2 directors and shareholders falling out and the company needs valuing, you can do the simple valuation, or you can prepare a fairly detailed report that gets then submitted to court, if it ever gets that far. unfortunately, on a number of occasions, that's actually what happens. And then he'll actually go into court as an expert witness. Oh, I thought I'd done it then. He'll actually go to court as an expert witness and present his case. Not something you really want to do because it can exceedingly expensive, but unfortunately some businesses do find themselves in that kind of position. So what we're looking for, again, now this comes on to sort of conversation starters or certain pointers for introductions into businesses. Again, like I said, I've tried splitting it down into two bits: the reactive bit, which is this first part, and then proactive bit, which involves bits that you can spot when you're actually talking to people or sitting down with clients, whichever it may be. The first one, client expresses a dissatisfaction with their existing advisors. That's quite, it's quite open-ended. What does that mean? Well, a lot of people, they trust people like myself, people like Max, unbelievable, people like Stephen, they trust what they say. So a lot of the time, you don't actually know when their actual advisor is talking rubbish to them. Didn't quite get the bar low enough there, did I? So they don't actually know when the client's talking rubbish. So just one or two pointers on that. They could have be following up and never get a response from the guy. The next one, that one there, says nasty tax surprises. I don't want any of those. So that's things like you're expecting a tax bill of whatever and suddenly it's spiked up for whatever reason, you're not quite sure why. Delays with the preparation of year-end accounts. What we try and do with accounts is have them turn around reasonably quickly after the year-end. Obviously there's always a slight delay while information's coming in, but the longer you leave it, the more out of date they become, and then basically all you're doing is just a compliance issue. They're just there for historical record because they've got to be filed. And this day, credit check companies, the credit rating companies, they actually knock you back and rate you downwards if the later your accounts are produced. It harms your credit rating. Lack of proactive communication, you never hear from the accountant. For whatever reason, they never speak to you, they're never in touch. So with that, you just put in a bit of distance between yourself and your advisor. And for example, it might be too expensive, that's a fairly easy one, but sometimes it's a way and it can open avenues then to open one or two discussions with the client. These are more, again, these now are slightly more proactive ones. Obviously not all relevant to everybody in the room, won't be able to get information like this, but quite a few of you will. A significant increase in turnover. The company made the significant increase in turnover, we would then expect the company to become more profitable, which then opens avenues and there's more opportunity for people and for planning procedures. The next one says engineering and manufacturing companies. Now these are the ones that operate through a single company. That provides us opportunities for assets and wealth protection. You're all business owners, or most of you are, you'll all experience ups and downs. The one or two bumps and scrapes along the way as you're going. That's you. Well done, yeah. It's that big beaming smile, you see. That nasty streak in you coming out. So engineering manufacturing companies is there, is trying to protect people's assets. What can you do for that? Well, you can put some security in place, you can send a rock hard guard around. I don't think that's quite going to work in this case, unfortunately. It's a shame David's not here actually, because David matters to me, because one of his competitors, Max and I think Nails Princes, they went not so long back, they were well established, but the problem was when you check, they were just operating through a single company, so all the trade was through the business, and so were all the assets. So when the trade fails, all the assets go with it. So that then prevents giving anybody the opportunity of buying out and trading on through that, because your assets are tied up in the business. So that is what we then call a catastrophic failure, because there's no chance that the company can trade again. The assets become those of liquidators, and you can't trade through it, which is what most companies you'll find out. If they've got the right group structure in place, it's like an extra insurance policy. It provides you with some protection against things like that, and also with legal claims that may happen for whatever reason that just jump up. It affords you a bit of protection from that. Obviously nothing's ever foolproof, but in most cases you'll find that it does actually work. Things again with companies with high director salary levels, through a bit of common sense, a bit of tax planning, a bit of forethought, again, knowing where they're going and planning ahead, you can prevent people who are paying tax from maybe at 40 or even 50%. You can unlock that and reduce that down by one or two methods and release that, so that something instead of paying 50% tax bill, they're paying 10%. And then there's future plans of the business. They may be planning for a sales succession and growth. again, that then gives us the opportunity for corporate finance department to become involved, and then you're looking at an exit route. So if you're there early enough, you can advise for long enough, and you can put all the building blocks in place, and hopefully then it becomes a planned exit, and everything works in the client's favour. And then we've got purchase of new significant items of equipment. You go and you see a new machine that's in there, you tell you they're looking at buying this. It gives you another opportunity for planning. How they're buying it, don't know. Do they need funding? Possibly. Which company they're buying it through, how they're buying it, or buying a property, how they're going to buy it, are they going to buy it individually, through a partnership, through the company, through a new company. There's all these different pitfalls and problems that jump up and they need to be looked at. Directors over the age of 45, 50, again then we're looking at an exit route. It's all the case of trying to put some building blocks in place and plan forward. Businesses who are diversifying, and then profitable sole trading partnership businesses. Just as a guide, their turnover saved in excess of 100,000, they become profitable, and you expect the businesses there may well be paying, the business owner may well be paying 40% tax there. Well, you may want to look at that then, considering incorporation and taking advantage of cheaper tax rates ongoing, and also being able to generate himself some goodwill at a fairly low tax rate. So that's it. Just to talk for myself, I am a qualified accountant. I've been doing it for 15 years. I do know what I'm talking about. And you can trust me, I do try my best for my clients. If you won't do it for me, do it for a little boy there. All he wants is a Lamborghini. Just sat there with his nose pressed up against the window, always looking in, always on the outside. Do it for him. Oh, good, he went in exactly the right place.
That's a yes.
Yeah. And I've just passed these round. It's just summarising some of the points on there. Hopefully it's like a little checklist for you. Okay.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much, Simon. So let's all go back there this week and try and get some referrals for Simon. Okay, one of the